Hello, hello, it's Jennifer Sinceri with Stampin' Up, and I am on tonight to share some fun stamping therapy with you. It is Tuesday evening, and let me just get this video shared in the right place, and I will be with you in just a minute. We can get started. I hope everyone's doing okay tonight. I had to delay my live. I'm normally on at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but I had an appointment, and so I was running a little bit late. So thank you for being so flexible. If you are watching the live, you'll see the red live flashing in the corner. And I would appreciate you commenting, give me a thumbs up or a heart on the video, and please share the video with your friends. If you're watching the replay later on, I am so glad that you joined us. Also, this will be posted onto my YouTube channel. So lots of places that you can find me. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram and on YouTube. All right, tonight we're going to get playing around with a stamp set that some of you requested, and you've given me a hard time because I can never say this word. So I looked it up tonight on Google and I had it pronounce it for me out loud, so I made sure I would say it correctly. So it's called Very Versailles. So it is after the palace in France. All right, so Very Versailles, and then I'm also going to pull in our Dragonfly Garden and Dragonfly Punch with this evening stamping, okay? Hi, Deanna, thanks for joining me. All right, so some of you wanted to see this stamp set in action. I'm going to make 3 cards tonight, and then I have one more card at the end to show you that I already had made up, and let's get started, okay? All right, a little housekeeping. This is my website where you can place orders, jennifersinceri.stampinup.net. So when you go to that website, you can place an order, and you'll be shopping through me as your demonstrator. And this is my host code for the month of June. So if you're placing an order that is under $150, I ask that you use this code 2N9ZZBVN. And then I claim the host rewards, and I use those rewards to purchase more consumable items, and I give most of those away as prizes. Excuse me, had to take a little drink. Now, if your order is $150 or more, then you don't want to use the host code because you'll want to get your own host rewards, okay? All right, let me go ahead and put this aside and let's get started. So, Very Versailles has 7 stamps. You see this beautiful branch of leaves. Then we have some script writing. Beautiful images here, and then we have 3 sentiments actually. Thank you, have a beautiful day, and always thinking of you, okay? And then I am going to pull in Dragonfly Garden, and we have this really pretty arrangement of wildflowers. We have 2 dragonflies. The difference is his body's filled in on one of them, and it's not filled in on the other. Then we've got some butterflies, it looks like, possibly dragonflies from a distance, and then several more sentiments. This stamp right here fills in the wings on the dragonfly. And then when you use this coordinating punch, when you stamp either one of these images, it will cut out with the large dragonfly. And then you can use the small dragonfly, just solid color dragonflies if you wanted. We did have a DSP that coordinated, but it's in the mini catalog, and it is while supplies last. So if you wanted to get coordinating DSP or designer series paper. You'll want to get that soon because once it's sold out, it's gone. All right. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to create 3 cards tonight. And then I have one more that's already done that I'll share with you at the end. Okay. Another product that I am pulling in was our Scallop Contours dies. So I wanted to show these to you. These are a lot of fun, and you'll see that I've used these on a couple of the cards tonight. It actually is a bundle. It coordinates with another stamp set that has flowers in it. But I want you to also see this really cool edge die for the edges of your card bases. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rectangles that have the scalloping on them. Okay? All right. Hi, Linda. Hi, Cynthia. How are you? I haven't seen you in a while, friend. Okay, let's get started. All right, the first card that I'm going to do, I am going to use some mint macaron as a card base. Hold on for just a minute. And then I have some Flirty Flamingo that I use that really pretty die on. Okay, so there's the scalloping. And then I cut a piece of basic white. That's the inside, I believe. Here's the outside. Yep. So that will just show our pretty scalloping, okay? Now that piece is 3.5 by 4 3/4, okay? And this is the piece that we're going to do our stamping on tonight. So I am using 2 colors. I'm going to use mint macaron, and I'm going to pull in some Just Jade. All right. So move this to the side because we don't want to get ink on it. How is everyone doing tonight? I have had my windows open all day and didn't have to put on the air conditioner, which was lovely. Now I want to make sure that my my stamps are clean because I was playing around with them and I know that they've got some ink on them. So let me just clean this off. This is called our Simple Chamois. All right, so I am going to stamp this with, let's see, I want to do it in Just Jade, I believe. Let's do some Just Jade. And when you're using this stamp, you'll want to make sure that your font or your scripting is not upside down. It looks like it's in French. I'm not quite sure what it says, but it's pretty. I'm going to stamp it once, full strength. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp it again, and they're going to overlap in the middle, and that's okay. And I am not going to re-ink it. All right. Now, I'm going to pull that lovely, I didn't put my stickers on all of them, that lovely leaf branch stamp. And we're going to do this also in Just Jade. Okay. And we're going to have some of those leaves just going right over on top of our writing. And then we'll do another one coming in on the side here. All right. And then I'm not going to re-ink it. I'm just going to use the lighter, or second generation is what we call it, and fill in some of those empty spaces. Okay, with some more leaves. All right. Then we've got a stamp that looks like some scrolling. Okay, I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to dip it in our mint macaron. Okay, hi Pamela. And I'm just going to stamp this in a couple different places. We'll do one there. I'll do one here. We'll do one on the bottom. And we'll do one here on the side in this empty space. Okay, it's a very subtle stamping. And now let's adhere this to this piece. So let's see, Deanna, you said you've got 81 degrees. Wow. At 8:30 in the evening. Wow. We had a couple of those nights last week. Couldn't keep the windows open because it was too hot outside. If I don't know if you'll hear, I do have my window open right now, and you'll hear all my wind chimes are moving around outside. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up. You'll see that there's a rectangle in there. You see the little corners, and so I'm just going to match my corners. Okay. So that scalloping just shows. And it looks like I got a little ink right here, so I'm just going to sand that off with my emery board. Okay. Now this is going to get put on. You could pop it up on dimensionals, or you could put it on flat. So I'm kind of deciding, what do I want to do? Maybe we'll put this on some dimensionals. Okay, so I've got some pieces here that I need to use up. I'm on my scraps. Okay, so we'll pull these off. I always like to add dimensionals to the four corners, and then depending on the size of your space that you have, you might put 2 more here just so they don't cave in. I like to have everything supported really well. Okay, and then I'm going to use my U-Pick tool, and I'm just going to take those backings off. Makes it a little bit easier with my long nails. I don't have to keep playing around with it. And then they just stay on my tip, and I throw that in the garbage. Those backings have a way of finding themselves all over the house if you're not careful. Okay, so there's that. And then what I ended up doing was I stamped, and I'll show you, I'll do it again for you. Let me grab a piece of scrap paper. Let's see, here we go, little scrap. I took my Dragonfly and I stamped him in Just Jade. And you want to be careful, your punch is up and down, so you want the paper to be able to slide through. So be thinking about how the paper goes through the punch, so that you can punch it out easily. Okay, so I always turn it over so I can see where the cutout is, and I can see my image. And I just make sure I'm not cutting off any parts of his body. And you're going to have a little bit of white all the way around. Okay, so I actually did 2 of these. I'm going to use 2. All right. I'll save that Dragonfly for another project. And I think I'm going to put 1 right here. And then I took our oval punch, which carried over, and I punched one, the scallop piece in mint macaron. And then, actually, no, I didn't use our oval punch. I actually used dies on this because it's stitched. I'm sorry, I apologize. I think I was going to, and I wanted it to be a little bit bigger. All right, so let's look at our sentiments to see what we're going to put on here. How about we do have a beautiful day? because then I could use that really for any occasion. Hi, Shelly. Thanks for hopping on, friend. Happy Tuesday to you. All right, let me grab another block. Okay, so I had a couple of requests for this stamp set. Versailles. I had to go on Google to make sure that I was saying it correctly, because you know me, I was stumbling over this word. Hi, Allison. Good to see you. All right, I am going to put this here, and I have to think about where I want my sentiment, because I'm also going to place another dragonfly up here, okay? And one, they're going to get popped up with dimensionals, and I just want to make sure I have enough room for my sentiment. So we're going to move it more towards the right of our oval. Okay. There it goes. All right. And then we'll pop this with a little bit of adhesive. Okay. Now if I put that flat and I pop up my dragonflies, I think that would work. Okay. So then I'm just going to cover that little open spot right there. This stamp set lends itself to lots of layering and like a collage effect. Now, when we put our dragonfly on here, we want to make sure that all of his body is somewhere on the card base, because my envelope is going to fit the card base. And we don't want it not to fit in our envelope. Okay, so that's another little tip. Whenever you're placing your cards together, make sure that you don't go off your card base. All right, now what I'm doing is I'm just placing a couple mini dimensionals on him. And I'm just going to take those backings off. All right. Very pretty. And then we'll pop that one on too with some dimensionals. Okay. And then we'll just take those backings off. And we're going to fill in some of this empty space here. All right, now there's our card. Very pretty. Okay, now you can always add more to it. We could add a little bit of embellishment, and you could also add some Wink of Stella if you want to. So I'm looking at my embellishments I have here. I might pull a rhinestone, I think. A very basic rhinestone. I could pull in our new Geneel Gems, but I have a lot of green on here. So I think I'm going to go with a rhinestone. Okay. And then I'm going to add that really pretty Wink of Stella to the dragonfly wings, because dragonflies sparkle, don't they? I find it so interesting when you look at a dragonfly. God made them so pretty. They come in so many different colors. And they've actually were around since prehistoric times, which is so interesting. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit of sparkle. This is a glitter pen. I'm adding some sparkle to our sweet little dragonfly here. If you wanted to, you could color your dragonflies in with different colors. I'm not. I'm going to just go with more of a monochromatic look on this card. Mostly greens. But when you do your card, you can decide. Let me just get that a little more glitter. I'm just pinching it a little bit, but I'm not doing it over my card because I don't want a big old glop. I'm doing it to the side. Oop, look, it just came out and I wasn't even pressing. So let me grab, I have a dry paintbrush here. Let's see if I can get some of that brought over. Well, this dragonfly has a lot of sparkle. That's all right. I'll add a little more to this one, even out the sparkle. We don't want this dragonfly to feel left out. Okay. Isn't that pretty? There's our first card. Super easy. Now, I thought I would do a little stamping on the inside too. So I cut a mat in our Flirty Flamingo. I'm not going to let that touch the back yet because I want that to dry. And then we have our white insert. So I always like to do a double mat on the inside. I feel like that really steps up that card. But let's do our stamping first. So if I make a mistake, I can always turn it over. So I said, have a beautiful day. And then let's pull the other sentiment that says, always thinking of you. Okay, we'll put that on our inside. And I think we'll add a few more leaves. Thank you, Shelley. This is a gorgeous stamp set. It really is. All right, we'll stamp this in Just Jade because it is darker and it will give that contrast, which I just stamped in mint and I didn't mean to do that. So let me wipe it off. And now we want our jade. Here we go. It did carry over. Yep. So this is in our annual catalog. I believe it's on page 101. Always thinking of you. And how about we do the lighter green since we did our font, our sentiment in the darker green. Let's go with mint for our leaves this time. Now your simple chamois, they're going to get all inky and that's fine. You can, what I normally do is I just run it under running water in the sink, wring out all the ink. It's going to be stained, but that's okay. All right. That's how I wash mine. I think some people I've heard put it in their dishwasher. Some people put it in their washing machine. Just be careful, you know, don't let it get moldy. Okay. All right. Let's do some leaves there in the corner. And then we'll do, I want to have enough room for writing. I don't want to take up that spot. So we're just doing it kind of just creeping in on the side. That's pretty, isn't it? Okay. And then we could do a little bit of our dragonfly. Okay. What do you guys think? Pretty? All right, let me mount that onto my layer. And the nice thing about stamping, like I said, if you make a mistake, it's no big deal. Sometimes people won't even tell it's a mistake. You're the only one that knows. But if you really don't feel good about it, you just turn your paper over. Paper always has two sides. Paper is inexpensive. And the other thing, just a little tip, is when you're doing your adhesive, you don't need to put full strips on all four sides. I'm just doing little spots. You don't have to do the whole perimeter of your card. This is really strong adhesive. The Stampin' Seal and the Stampin' Seal Plus are really strong. They're stronger than our old snail adhesive. So that is not coming off. Okay? All right. There's our first card. I think that came out really nice. And then, of course, you could decorate your envelopes. Okay. Let's go to the next card. Next card. Let me close up these inks because I'm actually going to use a couple different colors on this next card. And I don't want to get confused. All right, the next card uses Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana, okay? So I was going with a lot of greens and aquas tonight. I don't know, sometimes I get in these moods where I kind of stay in one color family. I'm just cleaning my workspace up a little bit so I can find things. Okay. And, okay. So we've got a Bermuda Bay card base, and then I used that die one more time, and I did it on basic white. Look at that beautiful contrast. And then I took one of the smaller dies, and it has some stitching on it with a closed scallop. And this is, what is this color? Coastal Cabana? No, I think this one's mint. Some more mint. More mint, I believe. Let's see. No, it doesn't look like mint. It's Pool Party. I can't remember what I pulled. Sorry, guys. Isn't that awful? Okay. So I'm going to actually stamp on this piece. So let me move these parts aside. Okay, we're going to take that scripting again, and we're going to do it in the Coastal Cabana, which is a lighter color. Now let me wash off my stamp because we don't want to contaminate ink pads. Okay. And I just tap, tap, tap. There's no need to like grind it in your ink pad. You don't want to do that. Okay, and I'm going to stamp more to the right. Nice even pressure. Then I'm going to go with our Bermuda Bay. This is a darker ink. And I'm going to use the wildflower stamp from Dragonfly Garden. So I'm using this stamp right here. Okay, and not all of it's going to fit on this piece, and that's okay. So here's my suggestion. We want to make sure that the flower heads show up. So start at the top of your card, your piece that you're working with the top of your stamp. And then anything that's excess, which are our stems, the stems will just be shorter. They won't be as long. Not a big deal. And I'm just doing even pressure. Okay, isn't that pretty? All right, now let's put this together. And I have one of those dragonflies, an extra dragonfly, which we can put here. Pretty, huh? Now this is a smaller piece, so you have a little bit more white showing. Just make sure it's nice and centered. And then you could go flat, or you could pop it up with dimensionals. I think for this card, I'll just do flat. Now with your stamping seal, remember you're not going to hear the clicking that you are used to with your snail adhesive. And I just roll and then lift up. Okay. So, my fingers keep moving everything here. There we go. Nice and centered. And then we'll put our sweet little dragonfly on. We'll use some dimensionals on him. Just give it a little bit of interest. Okay. Take off the backings. All right, and then do we want to put a sentiment on here? Let's see, we've got always thinking of you, and this one we have for a true friend. Thank you for your kindness. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. I don't need a thank you card. Let's see. How about for a true friend? We'll do for a true friend. Now that's a little bit smaller. I'll just use a little piece of white. Put a little piece of white that we'll just trim. I'm using a scrap. And I'll use the Bermuda Bay, which is our darker ink. Okay. And I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. Let's see if I can get one a little bit straighter. I think the first one was better. Get off those frayed edges. And then we can do a little pendant end on this one. Right there. Okay. And then let's put a rhinestone on there. And then I'll paint our dragonfly wings. I love the Wink of Stella pen. I think that was one of my first purchases when I was a customer, because I thought I can use that on so many different projects. Who doesn't love a little bit of glitter and sparkle? And it doesn't get all over your hands like true glitter does. Okay, there's our second card. Isn't that very, very sweet? What do you guys think? I'm loving the white with the Coastal Cabana. It's so crisp. All right. Third card. Let's see. Okay. This one is a soft seafoam card base. And this one opens up this way. And then I took some basic white and I ran that through an embossing folder. This is our Ornate Garden embossing folder. Then I used that same die and I just trimmed a piece of soft seafoam so that I would have a little bit of color all around, okay? So I just laid it down on a scrap and then I just cut it. Hi, Jean. Yep, you can watch the replay. That's okay. Don't worry about it. It will be there. So this is my mint. Not my mint. My soft seafoam is 3.5 by 5. Okay, just so you guys know. And then this is what I'm going to do my stamping on. Okay, now this one I am going to use, I pulled some Pear Pizzazz with soft seafoam colors. Now let me wash my stamps. Make sure everything's nice and clean. Okay. Now this one I think we'll use a little more leaves, and I'm going to use that scrolling, this stamp here. I think we'll try and use that one. Okay. All right. So let me. It's a smaller area. Let's go with some Pear Pizzazz, which is a lighter version of Old Olive. And we'll do some leaves. Let me think. I think I probably should do my scripting. Let's do the script first. And we'll do it in the soft seafoam, and then I'll put the leaves on top of it since it's a darker color. We'll do that. Okay, just make sure your words are not upside down. That would be bad. Okay, and then I'll just do a little bit more here. Okay, now we'll use, did I just do the wrong color? I think I did. I think I dipped it in Pear Pizzazz. Oh well. Well, we'll just make do, right? Okay, let's get our leaves on here. We're going to go over the script. Okay. And we'll do some going up this way. All right, and then trying to think what color I want to do that scroll thing. I guess we'll do Pear Pizzazz. Okay. Oh, kitty cat on the table. Leia, you need to go bye-bye. All right. Now I pulled one of my circle punches. These are retired. I wanted to punch something to just put in the center here for my sentiment, and this one might be a little bit too big. So I'm gonna see if it is too big. Then we will improvise. Okay. I just want to see here. And I'm going to take my sentiment. I'm washing it off. Make sure I'm not mixing colors, because this one I've used already. It's the Have a Beautiful Day. And thinking I should have picked a darker color. Let's see if this will work. I don't want it to cover up too much. Let's see. Yeah, it needs to go a little bit smaller. I don't think I have one that's smaller. We don't have a 1 inch. Because my dies, I was looking at my dies and they were a little bit too big. Well, I don't want to freehand it because that won't look lovely. Let me see. Let me see. What could we use? Yeah, everything seems too big. The 1 isn't going to be big enough. I have a 1, and this is too small. Unless we go with a smaller sentiment. Maybe we try a smaller sentiment. This was, which you don't have to do this if it's too complicated. You can use this stamp in your collaging. Oh, bummer. Let's try again. Don't press too hard with rubber because you get the ends of your stamp. All right, let's see if this will work. Oh. That'll work. Okay. I don't get rid of any of my punches. I still use my punches even when they retire. I love punches because they make quick, easy cards. I was so sad when our circle punches retired. Okay. Now let's put this together. Together. I think I want a little more, a couple of those scrolling guys on here. Let's do one right here. There we go. Okay. You guys are quiet. Have I mesmerized you? Or you're doing something else maybe. Everyone's quiet. Now, remember I said to use mostly liquid glue when you're putting on a layer that has been dry embossed? Because I'm using Stampin' Seal, which is really, really strong adhesive, I feel okay about using it. If you were just using any other double-sided adhesive, I probably wouldn't feel as confident and would worry that your layers would fall off, because the texture makes it hard, I think, for everything to adhere. But this Stampin' Seal stuff is pretty strong. I'm just pressing that down really well. Okay, very pretty, soft, subtle card. Okay. It's okay if these look funky. You're using them up and they're not going to go to waste. No one sees this part of your card, so it doesn't matter if these are weird shapes. But that helps stretch your money just a little bit more. You get a few more cards out of it. Okay, here we go. All right, and then how about, I feel like this one might need a bow. You guys, I've done 2 cards with no bow, so I have to do something. You knew I wasn't going to be able to go that long without a bow. But what should we use? This one is going to, well, it might work. This is our new open weave ribbon. And this one's the soft succulent. And I think it blends pretty well. Let's see what it looks like. All right, if you have not shared this video yet, would you please do that? I would appreciate that. If you're watching the live or the replay on Facebook or YouTube, would you please leave me a comment? You can like or love the video. That would be awesome. Give me some thumbs up or some hearts so that more people will be able to find this video. Okay. Little puppy dog barking outside. All right. Let me cut this in the other direction. I think I need to trim that tail a little more. Take my tails and meet them in the middle, and that way I know if they're the same length. Okay. me grab a glue dot. And then we'll add our rhinestones. Okay. I think we'll just sprinkle a few little rhinestones, kind of like they're dewdrops with those leaves. There we go. All right, what do you guys think about that one? Hopefully you can see everything okay. All right, let me hold these cards up a little bit closer so everyone can see. All right, so there's that. You can see the texture. Okay, and then we did this one. And then we did this one. You guys can see the sparkle on those wings. Now I had one more card that I had already made using the Very Versailles stamp set. So let me take it out of the clear envelope that I have it in so you guys can see it a little bit better. This one is using a retired stamp set, the Butterfly Gala, is that what it is? But we have some other butterfly stamp sets in there. So you can see I use the little scrolling, and I use this guy here. There's some of the font in there and the leaves. And then I just added some butterflies to it. But I used a variety of colors there. And what I also did was I took a sponge dauber and I sponged the edges of this white piece. Okay, so that's my fourth card. Alrighty, so a couple different ideas on how you can use this stamp set. I hope you've been inspired tonight. All right, and some very cool, relaxing colors, I think. Okay. Thanks for joining me tonight. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up or a heart on the video. Please share the video with your friends. And let's see, I have a face-to-face class tomorrow at 9 a.m. I still have space available. We're doing a stamp and stack. So 12 cards, 4 designs for $36, I believe. I have to go back and look again. So if you would like to come and join me, I still have some spaces available. Don't forget, we have a special right now with $250 worth in orders for a party. You get extra host rewards. That is going through the 14th of this month. And if you don't already subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, but would like to, you have until the 10th to subscribe for the next kit. And the next kit is it coordinates with the Expressions in Pink suite in our current catalog. All right, so you have to the 10th to subscribe to that Paper Pumpkin. All right, thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I will see you Friday. I had some requests for Handsomely Suited. So we will see if I can get myself together and get this working and get some ideas for you guys on how to use those dies. Okay, so that's my goal for Friday. And I will see you then. Okay, have a great next couple days. All right, bye-bye.